Hello, hello, welcome to my kitchen. It is an ugly, dreary, surprisingly cold and rainy day here in East Tennessee, as you can see. And me and Mitch are also getting over some pretty bad colds. Hopefully my voice isn't too bad, but that means that this Labor Day weekend, we will not be going to Dollywood. But that doesn't mean we can't bring Dollywood to us. We are finally going to look at the Unofficial Dollywood cookbook. I picked fudge to make because honestly fudge is the one thing that I always have to get whenever we go to Gatlinburg or Dollywood because it is so good. So let's go ahead and get started, and then we'll do a little look through the cookbook. And here is the peanut butter fudge made famous at Dollywood that we're going to make. I've got all of our ingredients, don't need a whole lot, so that's really good. We've got our pan, our sugar. The only substitution I'm going to make, I'm going to try this instead of the evaporated milk. Now I've got my stove all set up. I've got the butter in here. I'm going to go ahead and get that started melting. We're going to need a candy thermometer, and you're also going to need a cup of cool water. I will show you what all of this is for as soon as we get this ready. All right, I've got this going pretty good, so we're going to add this entire bag of Confectioners Sugar. We're also going to add this. Now, the internet assured me that this would be a one-to-one substitution for evaporated milk, so wish me luck, and let's hope that it doesn't end up like the cinnamon bread did that I tried from this before. So we're going to go ahead and add all of this in there. We're going to add this entire bag of sugar in it. Now we're just going to stir all of this together, get it nice and melted. We're going to use the candy thermometer to make sure that we get to 235 degrees. And then I've got a little spoon ready, and we've got our water there. So we're going to use that here in a minute, hopefully, to test for readiness. So let me get this all stirred together, and then we'll come back together. All right, we've got a little bit to go yet. We're trying to get this to what's called a softball stage, and once we do, that's where this water is going to come in. So I'm gonna let this go a little bit longer. Try to bring that up to 235, but you can see it mixed together really well. So far, so good. All right, this escalated pretty quick. So we're gonna see temperature wise where we're at. Okay, I think we are really close. So let's go ahead and test the softball theory. So we're gonna take a little bit of the mixture, put it in this cool water. If it dissolves, it's not ready. And you know what? It dissolved, so I don't think it's ready yet. All right, we're gonna let this go a little bit longer then. Okay, I'm hoping we're finally there. The thermometer says that it's a little bit over 235, so I think we're safe. And you can see there it's actually making clumps when it hits the cool water. So, let's go ahead and call this ready and hope for the best. Okay, that does look nice and thick. I really hope the coconut milk didn't change the consistency of this from evaporated milk, but I guess all we can do is go ahead and plunge forward. And now we're going to add our peanut butter, our marshmallow cream, and our vanilla. Fortunately for us, everything is exactly pre-measured, 16 ounces. So all we have to do is scoop out. We've got our marshmallow cream. We need exactly 7 ounces. Really glad that the recipe did exact jar measurements. This is already messy enough, and we don't have to really dirty up a whole lot of measuring spoons and cups. And last is our teaspoon of vanilla. Now let's try to get all of that mixed in. This already smells like the peanut butter fudge you get at Dollywood, so I am really excited to try this. Okay, that was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. I got a little afraid there at the beginning when everything was just kind of clumped in there. But it's nice and melted, it's nice and stirred in. So now we spray a 9x13 and pour all of this in there. And now comes the hardest part of this entire recipe. We have to let this sit here for 3 hours to set before we get to actually bite into it. And now, while we're waiting for the longest 3 hours of our lives to pass, let's go ahead and look at this really cute little cookbook. Now, this is the unofficial Dollywood cookbook, so of course, this isn't something that Dollywood or Dolly Parton has put out. It's just something that this person, Aaron Brown, collected, all the things that you could eat there at the park and made her own recipes off of it. And I actually think she did a really great job. I love the fact that she gives an overview of the food. You have a bit of a history about Dollywood. You have the different sections of Dollywood and kind of what they are. If you've never been, I think this is good reading. She kind of tells you what kinds of food to expect in each section, so that's always good to know. She's got some helpful tips for the Southern cook. And then we go into the recipes themselves. I really like how this cookbook is laid out. I like the design of it, and I thought it really kept very well with the look of Dollywood itself. We've got lots of nice pictures of the food, so I thought that was really good to include. And the recipes themselves look very straightforward and very well organized. I like that she tells where in the park she got, this particular food. So you always know why the recipe was included and oftentimes where you can get it if you go to the park itself. I love the fact that she included a lot of the iconic foods that you can get there. And she includes a lot of the food that you can actually get in the restaurants inside the park. So theoretically, you could make a whole dinner from, the main entrees that she has here. And then she also has a section of side dishes that you can put with it. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this is not your typical cookbook, right? Because, this isn't something that you could pull out every day to make dinner with or lunch with. This is fair food. This is kind of more what I would call carnival food. So these are just fun little dishes you can make as a treat, maybe as an occasional dinner, like if you wanted to do one of the big entrees, like this pot roast or the pit ham, that looks really good, and then put some sides with it, but it's not something that you're probably going to be making, a lot out of. But I think if you've been to Dollywood and you've eaten some of these iconic foods from there, you're going to be thrilled to have something that you can make in your own kitchen to kind of remind you of, good memories there at the park. Or even if you've never been there, but you've always wanted to, now you can kind of recreate at least a little bit of the experience in your own kitchen. So I'm glad I bought this cookbook. I think it's super cute. I've been to Dollywood lots and lots of times since my childhood in the 80s. So I have good memories of Dollywood. I've eaten quite a bit of the food there, and I was really, really thrilled to get this cookbook so I can kind of, recreate a lot of them. And I think if you keep in mind that this is a cookbook that you'd pull out when you want to make something fun, or if you want to make something just a little bit different, then I think this would be a good cookbook for you. So there you go. That's a look at the unofficial Dollywood cookbook. And now we only have 2 hours and 50 more minutes of wait time before we can eat our fudge. Guess what? It's the next day. That's how long it took this fudge to set. Now, I suspect that it had everything to do with the fact that I substituted the coconut milk for the evaporated milk. So you will probably not have this problem if you follow the recipe to the letter. But it looks really good, so we're going to cut a couple of pieces and then we're going to do our final taste test. We have literally waited 2 days for this. So let's just dig in.
Wow. That is rich.
Oh, it is so rich.
I'm surprised. I don't taste any of the coconut.
I don't either.
I thought I would taste some coconut. I have no hint of coconut.
Not at all.
Completely overpowered by the sugar and peanut butter.
Yes.
The peanut butter does come through good, though.
I was going to say, the peanut butter flavor is so good with this one. Okay, we finally finished our pieces. So we
couldn't stop. Yeah.
We were not going to put that piece down. So now we can continue. I think this is a fantastic recipe. Now, I had a little bit of trouble. That was my fault. Anytime you start experimenting with things and trying to substitute ingredients, if you need to be dairy-free like me, then you're going to run into some issues sometimes. So, yeah, we had to leave this in the refrigerator overnight. But if you use the evaporated milk, you're more than likely not going to have to do that.
Yeah, especially with, I think the marshmallow cream.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff usually, would probably... But and I think also if you do have to use something different, you could probably just add some powdered sugar to it or something like that to kind of thicken it up. And if you knew ahead of time.
Yeah, if you use the coconut milk, maybe pour off some of the liquid that's in the can before you mix, everything together. That's what I feel like I should have done. And I think this would have set a lot better. But overall, oh my gosh, is this so good. Yes. To me, this tastes like Gatlinburg fudge.
Yeah.
This tastes like Dollywood fudge. It's just as good. Yeah. And arguably, it's cheaper than going to those fudge shops and purchasing by the pound, where, you only get maybe 2 pieces for a lot of money, and you're kind of shocked.
Not to mention, this is dairy-free, where the fudge we get at the Dollywood probably
that's right. Yeah, if they're using evaporated milk, I'm not eating it.
Yeah.
But I can make this at home.
Yeah.
So. But the recipe itself was simple. Yeah, it's just plop and go, basically, which is a great recipe in my book. So great taste, easy to make. I would highly recommend this as your next fudge to try because, man, is the taste out of this world. And as for the cookbook, you heard my little review on it before, and I stand by that even after having to wait, because like I said, that was more than likely our fault. So I think this is overall a really cute little cookbook, great souvenir to have if you've been to Dollywood and you kind of want to recreate some of the dishes that you had there. I think it's very well laid out. I enjoyed it. You can tell that it was a labor of love to Dollywood and not just, kind of one of those cash grabs, that uses the name. I think this is something that this author really likes Dollywood, likes Dolly Parton, and really wanted to recreate a lot of those dishes, so you can have them at home. And I think she did a great job. So something fun to pick up to make some carnival food and some park food at home if you want to do that. So thanks for watching this episode. We're really eyeballing this, but it's so rich. We probably don't need to do that. It's going to be tough to stay out of this fudge.
I might have to eat something not sweet and then come back to it after.
We'll just swap back and forth. Thanks for watching this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you make this fudge. And I hope you have a really great rest of your day. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for for more foodie adventures.